Welcome to Bruce Tracy Photography. I just got back from Alaska and I'm going to take you guys with me to see what we got. Now, I am not a professional photographer. In fact, I'm a junior high school English teacher. So like most of you, I'm going to guess 90% of you, I'm just a hobbyist when it comes to photography. So I can't hire myself a private guide or a small boat to take me to all the places I need to go. What I did was I took a cruise with my wife. We went on Princess Cruises. We were on the Crown Princess, and I planned to get some photographs from the boat itself and then from the excursions as well. I brought with me my Canon R7. I brought that camera because it's a crop censored camera. It gives me a little more reach, and I figured that would be perfect for getting the birds and the wildlife, and it did a fine job for the landscapes as well. So my Canon R7 did a really nice job. There were 5 things I really wanted to photograph on this trip. I wanted to get those Pacific brown bears. In fact, we took an excursion at Icy Strait, which was specific to finding bears, and we didn't see a thing. But when we got to Sitka, Alaska, we went to Fortress of the Bears, which is a bear preserve area, and I got some great shots of the bears there. The second thing I wanted to get were whales. My wife gets seasick, so there was no way we were going to go on a private excursion for a whale watching trip. So all of the whales I captured were captured from the ship itself, and we saw a lot of them. There were a lot of humpback whales in the water. They come and swim near the ship, so you're able to get photos from your deck. And we had a balcony, so I was able to get photographs from our balcony. The third thing I wanted to get were bald eagles. 20 years ago, we took this exact same cruise, and we didn't see a whole lot of bald eagles. In fact, I think for that whole trip we saw 2 bald eagles. Well, fortunately, bald eagles have made a huge rebound, and they are everywhere. So at every port except for Skagway, we saw bald eagles everywhere. I got a ton of really good shots, especially in Sitka, Alaska. Now, along with the wildlife, there were 2 landscape photos I wanted to capture. I wanted to get as many of the cruise ports as I could from the top of the ship. I was hoping to be up on top, shooting down on the towns and get some good landscapes of those. And I did manage to get a few of the towns, pretty good shots of those. And then the last thing I wanted to get was in Skagway. We took the White Pass Railroad, and I made sure to sit in the back of the train because I was hoping to capture the train as it went around curves where I could shoot up, get the train in the foreground with some cool Alaskan landscapes in the background, and I was able to get that as well. Now, I realize some of you are here and you don't care anything at all about photography. You just saw in the title that I was on the Crown Princess with Princess Cruises, and you came along just because you want to see the ship. I did get some video of the ship as well for you guys. For those of you who like photography, I got some great shots. Come along with me. We're headed up to Alaska. Of course, every cruise has to start with a sail away party, so let's go ahead and take a look at the sail away party featuring the Princess Cruise dancers. Let's take a quick trip around the cruise ship itself. We're going to start here at the top deck. Up here you've got a sports deck, which is the basketball court and a pickleball court. Unfortunately for us, on the days they had pickleball scheduled, we were at sea and the wind was howling, so nobody was able to play pickleball on this cruise. Around the corner you've got this miniature golf course, which is a great place for your kids to come and play. And then right around all of these you've got a little walking trail you can do, and there's bocce ball at the end as well, so it's just a real nice sports deck up in the top.
So it's going to be nice.
TV going on up there. Bed.
Oh,
Oh, then you come out here to the balcony, which is a really big balcony. It's deep. Of course, we're still in port, so you're looking at Canada Place. Next up is the piazza, which is 3 floors right in the middle of the ship. All kinds of things took place here. This is where there was always some kind of entertainment going on. At the end of the cruise, this is where the captain came out and greeted everybody. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at the captain's greetings right now.
Privilege of introducing you to the man behind the event of the Captain's Farewell. Please welcome the master of the vessel, Captain Renzo Lembo.
He also had the princess dancers here who performed at that captain's farewell. And also we had a time where the entire crew came out into this piazza area to thank the passengers for coming along, and of course just to say goodbye as well. So the piazza deck was where all kinds of the piazza area was where all kinds of these big events took place. Next up we have the food. Here we've got the International Cafe. This place was open, I think, most of the time. It's not 24 hours, but open quite a bit. They had sandwiches and all kinds of good little pastries as well. Upstairs you had the sliced pizza, coffee and cones where you can get ice cream and coffee. Ice cream was free, you had to pay for the coffee. Then right across that pool deck was where you could get hamburgers. I think it was called the Salty Dog Grill. Hamburgers, hot dogs, tacos, things like that. Here you got the outdoor theater. This was playing movies at night. Pretty cool there as well. Underneath the deck you had cool places like the art gallery here. You had the casino. All of the dining halls are downstairs. The shopping. There's always something to do. And then of course the big theater, which is pretty similar on all the Princess cruise ships. But every night they had 2 shows here. They were always pretty good as well. Our favorite place to hang out though was right here on our deck. When we were here, we were always looking for wildlife, whether it was bald eagles or whales that were swimming past the ship itself. Quite often we'd see other cruise ships that were in the neighborhood nearby that we'd watch them sailing along. And this is where I caught the whale photos. Here's some of those. Our first stop was the Endicott Arm and the Hubbard Glacier. Now the day we were there it was super overcast. In fact it was rainy, but it made for great photographs because the clouds would sit right there in the trees. We had waterfalls. The clouds would make the glaciers that were floating past even more blue than usual. So a really beautiful day. And then down here by the Hubbard Glacier we had a lot of waterfalls as well. But because it was so cloudy and overcast you could hardly see the glacier back there. There it is. But we were going to be seeing the Mendenhall Glacier when we got to Juneau anyway, so it wasn't too big a deal. But here is the Hubbard Glacier. Our first cruise port was Juneau, Alaska, and there is the Mendenhall Glacier. We were here 20 years ago, and it was amazing at how much that ice has melted in that time. In fact, I took a picture of it, so let's take a look at what it looked like in 2003 compared to now. My goodness, we have lost a lot of that ice. Now, part of this excursion, we also did the all-you-can-eat salmon bake. I highly recommend it. This place was pretty awesome. It was raining the day we were there, but as you can see, there's plenty of places that you can sit underneath the cover. It was a buffet-style eating. You can see the buffet area right there. And then they were grilling the salmon on open flames, and that's coming up right over here. Really good food, but the best part about this excursion was the location of this place. It was just a really cool place, and just about 100 yards down a trail, you came up to this waterfall. The waterfall was beautiful, and you'll see right here the trail that takes you right back into where you ate. So that was a great excursion. I highly recommend it. After Juneau, we headed over to Icy Strait, which is really just a cruise stop. Still pretty cool. You had this green gondola that would take you from the cruise area into town. Right next to it was this one, which is the red gondola. This thing took you up to the top of the mountain. I want to say it cost $50. I think it did. And it would take you up to the zip line and things that were at the top of the mountain. There's this little path right next to the green gondola. You could walk this right into town if you'd like. Then we took a bear excursion where we were supposed to go out and see bear. This is where it was. Beautiful scenery here, but we didn't see any bears at all. In fact, I highly recommend you skip this tour unless, of course, the salmon are running, and then you have a chance to see some bear. After Icy Strait, we sailed on to Sitka, Alaska, which is a beautiful little town. We were here to look for the Fortress of the Bear, which was a bear preserve. I wanted to get some bear photos, and also the Raptor Center. This is the port where you come into at Sitka. Beautiful place, but you had to take a shuttle bus into town. There's no way you could have walked into the main part of town from the cruise area. Here's some pictures I got from the bear sanctuary. After Sitka, we headed over to Skagway. In Skagway, I highly recommend you get some kind of a shore excursion. Not a lot to do in town itself. We took the White Pass Railroad, which is a great excursion. And again, my goal was to get on that train and to be able to take some pictures from the back of the train using the front of the train as kind of a foreground for some really good landscape photos. And here's what I got from Skagway. After Skagway, we were on to Ketchikan. This is a beautiful little town. And here it is looking at it from the ship itself. The main thing to do when you're here in Skagway is to go to the Lumberjack show, and I've got some video of that for you, so let's go ahead and listen in.
With a clear victory, there you have it. Took this block for a Spruce Mill and one more hit. And there it goes. Go! Big foot right there by Kyle. Cole Schenker making the tag. There's the bail. And that's Kyle went down more big bursts of water right there. And I'm getting a bucket of water.
Well, there it is. That was our Princess Cruise trip up to Alaska. Before I go, I want to give you a quick review of the Princess Cruise that we took. We were on the Crown Princess. This is the 5th time we've sailed with Princess Cruises, and for us, it is just perfect. I'm not looking for roller coasters or water slides on the top of my ship. I don't need that kind of thing. What I want is a relaxing, laid-back experience with good service and good food, and that's exactly what Princess provides. We have never met a Princess employee who wasn't super friendly and very helpful. They're always great, and the food is top-notch. I don't think I've ever had a bad meal on a Princess Cruise. So they serve great food. The atmosphere is perfect for people like me who are looking just to be laid back and relaxed and not that party crowd like you'd see on a Carnival ship, for example. Or if you go on a Disney ship, you're going to get the family. If you have a family, Disney's probably great, even though it costs a ridiculous amount of money. They cater to that crowd. But for me, Princess is absolutely perfect. The Crown Princess did not disappoint. We had a great time. Hey, thanks for coming with me. I'll see you guys next time on Bruce Tracy Photography.